favourite Uncle Frog here again, and once more I've managed to... Sorry? What? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll do it now, okay? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, you may remember the last time I was up here, I was playing a war game with the Gouda. I'm going to just pop back into the fridge, it's a bit too warm out here for him. And I got something slightly wrong, and I'm sure there are other experts out there who know a lot more about the Stilton Wars than I do, but I said that Relief Force was only the Cheshire Dragoons, but in fact it was the Emmentaler, first and last, who were also part of their Guards regiment, I believe. So, yes, where was I? Oh, yes, right. So, back in the good old days, when the internet only cost 1 shilling and 3p an ounce, you couldn't just pop down to your local online store, stroll in and slide a slice of mail off the shelf.
Don't you mean plate mail?
You couldn't just buy chainmail back in the day. And so I used to make it. I used to buy 2mm fencing wire. I used to wind this down on a mandrel, chop it all up, and then put it all together. And I made myself a Bernie and a Holberg. And some other people came along and went, "Ooh, that's rather nice." And so I made them a couple of suits of armour as well. And then time and technology moved on, and you ended up with kind of these ones we got here, which are the 8mm square section zinc, and we also ended up with 6mm as well, square section zinc. And again, I made myself not in the 6mm, but in the 8mm. 6mm way too heavy. From the 8mm, I made myself a Bernie and a Holberg and a 13th century full body romper suit, which is, absolutely brilliant if you're sitting on top of a horse, but if you happen to be running around a field in Largs chasing a bunch of lightly clad Welshmen, not so much fun. And then some people came along and said, "Ooh, you've made some nice chainmail, could you make some for me?" And I said, "Yeah, okay." So I made some suits of armour for them as well. Feeding my reenactment habit in trade and in money. Honestly, I think a gag habit would have been probably cheaper. Well, there we go. And then technology moved on a third time, and we ended up with some round section, I think 9mm internal diameter. And there, again, I made myself a Bernie and a Holberg and a 15th century small suit of armour with dag ends on it. And it was all rather nice. And then people came along and went, "Ooh, you've made some armour. Would you mind making it for me as well?" Yeah, okay. Not a bad idea. Now, if you're keeping track of this, then you figured out that I have made, since November 1988, when I joined Regular Anglorum, I've made 8 suits of armour for myself, and in total, counting those 8 suits and all the others I've made for other people, this comes in somewhere north of 20 suits. I can remember I've done, just over 20. Exactly how many over 20? It all kind of fades into one thing. Yes. So, time went by again. And then I started getting interested in doing maybe reenactment or something, blah, 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 blah. And I had a look on the internet this time round, when it was costing more than 1 shilling and 3p an ounce, and discovered that you could actually buy riveted chainmail. This stuff here. Now, any sane or sensible person at this point, they would have just popped on and bought an entire suit of armour. But like I said, I've made, north of 20 suits of mail, and I just couldn't bring myself to... Oh, I'm an idiot. I really am an idiot. I made myself a suit of mail. It's a Bernie, not a Holberg. As you can see from this one here, it's made from, I think it's 8 or 9mm internal diameter links, 50% of them are solid and the other 50% are riveted. And I went for a staple rather than a round rivet, which I think you can probably just about see on the end of my finger there. And this has to be slotted through into the hole. These come pre-punched, and so you can just slot them through. He said, easily. Yeah, haha. That worked first time, that's bizarre. Something's going to go horribly wrong. Now, a Bernie takes 30 to 40,000 links. So that means that these little chaps, you only have to do about 15 to 20,000 of them, which is really, really nice. But there is a little bit of a problem. The hole in these things isn't quite big enough to take the staple, because you have to use this device here. I think you can see there's a little hole there, and so you would put it with the point of the wedge goes into here like that, and yeah, you just crimp it together, and if you're lucky, it works. And when I first started doing this, I thought, well, yeah, why are there so many failing? And then I popped on to the place of Chain Demons, obviously the internet, and found out that what you actually need to do is enlarge that hole slightly. And so I have an old screwdriver here, which I ground to a point, and then this goes into the hole like that, and it helps if you just tap it twice, like that, okay? Now, if you do the mathematics on this, if you have to tap this little thing, this little thing, this little thing, if you have to tap that twice, and you're doing 15,000 links, that's 30,000 taps. So my wife now has a horse, but she says this is totally unconnected to my chainmail making habit. So how was this video? Was it likeable? Was it subscribable? Was it even commentable? If that actually is a word or not. Commentable? Maybe, maybe not. Oh, and there's also the Patreon thing if you're so inclined. Anyway, hope you enjoyed yourself, and I will see you next time. Bye!